Hey Stitch fam, welcome back. My name is Corinne and you are here at CoryCreates, where I define what I consider to be creativity. Ooh, it's been a minute, y'all. It's been more than a minute, way longer than I had anticipated before I would be making my next video. But I am back. I am so glad to be here. Today is Monday, September 26, 2022, and this is Flosstube number 5. So thank you all. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you are returning, I am so glad you came back, and I really wish it had not been so long since I had talked with you all. But I am back. I will fill you in a little bit about what has happened since my last video, which was sometime in early July. But as you can see, we are moved. We are in a new location. Lots of drama has occurred over the last 2 months. So like I said, towards the end, I will fill you in. So needless to say, I'm so glad to be here with you all today. So let's jump right in. Let me tell you what we're going to talk about. First thing I want to mention is going to be Needlework Galleria. I'll kind of tell you that's coming up this weekend. I'm so excited. And I'll tell you a little bit about when I'm going to be there. And the next thing I'm going to talk about, just answer a couple of questions I got on my videos. Thank you all so much for your comments. I know I was very slow on responding these last couple of months, but I did read them all. I appreciate you. And I just had a couple questions that I'm going to answer. Then I'll talk about my whips. I will talk about stuff that I've bought just a little bit, because I'm not going to lie, I've been saving my money for Galleria. I've got some, since I don't have a lot of new stitching, I do have some, but I don't have a whole lot of any new stitching. I thought I would go over all of my Heaven and Earth design patterns that I own. So I'll just show those real quick and you all can see what I have in my stash, and I'll kind of talk about when I got them and when I plan to try and tackle them. And then I'll talk about my plans, give you a quick update on how I got in my new space, and then I will share with you the giveaways. I had 4 giveaways, I think, last time, so I will go through and let you know who those winners are at the end of this video. So let's jump in. All right, first up, let's talk about Needlework Galleria. So excited. It is actually this weekend coming up, September 29th through October 1st, here at the Embassy Suites in St. Charles, okay? I now live on the St. Louis side, but St. Charles, literally, you all, is like 10 minutes from the airport, okay? It's not far at all. Right as you cross the bridge on the Missouri River. So very close if you live in the St. Louis area. I'm going to be there. I went ahead and I bought a membership. I think the membership pass was like $40. So I just went ahead and did that. And the hours of the event are Thursday. It's like an early bird time, 6:30 to 9 p.m. And then Friday and Saturday are 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So my plan is I am going to try and go to the Thursday night for a little while at least, see where everything is, kind of get the layout. And then I will definitely be there Friday from probably around 11:30, 12 till 5. And then Saturday I'll also be there around the same time, maybe more like noon till 5 on Saturday. I've got other things I got going on Saturday, so I'm going to squeeze in some time then. But I wanted to announce today that on Friday, I am hosting a meetup at the Buzzed Bull Creamery. It is an ice cream shop in the streets of St. Charles, which is not far at all from the Embassy Suites. I'll show you the kind of the brochure for there. What this is, I know the young lady who is the owner. It just opened this spring, but the concept is it's ice cream, but you can get it spiked, or as she puts it, buzzed. Okay. She's got, you know, things you can put some orange vodka in the dreamsicle ice cream sundae. Death by Chocolate has chocolate vodka in it, those kinds of things. So I'm not a drinker, but I have been here. It's a very cute little shop, and I just wanted to invite you all to come by, say hi, have some ice cream, bring your stitching if you got a small project, just hang out and meet other people. Open to anybody, okay? I know of a couple of Flosstubers that might be stopping by as well. So I'm just so excited to have been able to find a place that is close to the Embassy Suites, but easy to access for anybody who maybe is from the St. Louis area. So my St. Louis Stitchers, if you don't have anything to do, Friday night, September 30th, from 5 p.m. until about 6:30 p.m. I'm not saying I'm burning out at 6:30, but come by. I wanted to make it early enough that it won't be too crowded yet, because you off the streets of St. Charles, it's a bumping area. I think there's quite a few hotels there. There is a Funny Bone Comedy Club, a plethora of restaurants. I've eaten at it, about half of them. There's an AMC theater. There's a lot going on in that particular area. So feel free, come by, eat an early dessert, and then go have dinner at one of the local restaurants nearby if you want, or head back to the Embassy Suites. Like I said, it's very close. I have not actually been to the Embassy Suites and driven to the streets of St. Charles, but it's very, very close. I would even say maybe carpool. You might be able to walk it. I'm not positive about that, but it is very, very close. So if you want to, in the comments, let me know you're coming. Hopefully I will see you. And like I said, even if you're not coming to Needlework Galleria per se, stop by. Okay. I know there's going to be a couple of, like I said, a couple other fellow Frosttubers going to be there. Would love to say hi and meet you, especially since we don't have a local needlework shop to kind of rally around here in St. Louis. So this would just be a great opportunity for those of us who are stitchers to meet each other and hang out for a little bit. So I would love to, if you let me know if you're going to be there. I'm not hard to miss. So just walk in and I'll probably have a little corner set up. I am going to have some project bags as a giveaway for people that attend. So come on down. Would love to see you. Would love to meet you. So the next thing we're going to get into is whips. Before I get into my whips, I had a couple of questions I wanted to answer. The first one, somebody asked me about my color of lipstick. And I didn't even think about it, but I was like, oh, let me make sure I answer that question. This is my favorite lipstick. I am wearing it today. It is called Dragon Fruit Blush. It is an Avon color. So I don't know if they still have it. I bought this probably a couple of years ago. And trust me, I'm going to contact my sister-in-law and see if she can give me another one. That is who I get all of my Avon from. Most of the lipsticks that I have right now that I wear regularly are from there. So I'm going to put a link to her Avon shop in the notes below. And you can contact her. She ships. That's how I get mine. She's actually located in Dallas. So she ships it up here to me whenever I place an order. And but this, yes, Dragon Fruit Blush is an Avon color. And it's one of my favorites. And I wear it all the time. The other question, somebody asked in the comments, do I use a magnifier when I stitch? I do not. My eyesight, I'm actually nearsighted. So I can see pretty well up close. It's far away. Now, if I take these off and I try to see across the room, that's another ballgame. But I can see pretty well up close. I just need good light. So right now I'm using an Ott Light. It's like the craft Ott Light. It's got 4 levels. And it's got like a little container on the bottom of it that I can put my scissors in and pencils and things of that nature. But that's what I use right now. That's the extent of what I use. In a future video, I'll try to go over a little more of my setup, my equipment that I use for stitching. But that's it. I just need really, really good light. I actually got in the mail a week ago or so a light to review that I'm sure you've seen other floss tubers talk about, but I have not even had a chance to get it out of the box yet. But I am going to do a review of that and kind of try and figure out where I'm going to set it up, because it is a little bigger light, but it covers a bigger area. So we'll see. But that is what I do. I'm pretty good on eyesight. I just need really, really good light because my Heaven and Earth design count fabric is 25 count, which is tiny. The last thing I wanted to say before I jump into my whips is I wanted to give a shout out to the two tall stitchers. They shouted me out on their channel. It was right around the time that I had posted my last video. So I just wanted to say thank you, ladies. I watch you all faithfully and I enjoy your channel. So I really appreciate you mentioning me on yours. And I hope to make it to Indiana one of these days to see you. Actually, my daughter is doing travel volleyball again next year. And so there's going to be a number of cities that I'm going to be traveling to. So I'm hoping to be able to hit up some of the cross stitch shops while I'm out traveling. And normally Indiana is one of the places that I go, but I don't think she's got anything scheduled this year in Indiana. I think the closest one she's got scheduled is Chicago. So but I am looking forward to, even though I'm getting ready to start doing that volleyball mom thing again on the road, I do like that I now have the opportunity to visit some of these shops that I've been hearing about. And I'll make sure I mention what those are so you guys can give me good recommendations. Okay. All right. I actually have a new start. I started it about a week ago. So I'm going to talk about that first. This is baked goods. I think I showed this in my last video that I was going to potentially start it. Well, I did. Okay. I am working on this on a 28 count potato Lugana, Little House Needleworks. It has a few hand-dyed flosses in it, but it's mostly DMC. So I was waiting on Swiss chocolate and I finally found that one. And I also needed mulberry, which I got over the summer. So here is my progress. This is about 3 days worth of progress. And I am very pleased with where I am. So as you can see, this is going to be a pretty quick stitch. Okay, so I got through the whole word goods, the gingerbread man, and then I started on the word baked, and then that's a pie down there at the bottom. So it's coming along well. My children are very active, and my son is playing tennis, and he has matches on Saturday nights, and they are 2 hours long. Okay, so that is where I got the majority of this done. I finished the word goods. I started on the bake. I did the whole gingerbread, and then I started on the pie while I was sitting there. So every Saturday, I got a couple hours that I can get some stitching time in. They don't let us come actually down there on the courts, and then the bleachers are usually way far away. So I just kind of sit up high in the I guess it's like a bar area, but you can see the courts from that area. It's enclosed in glass, but you can see it from that area. So I just find a little club chair, sit down, and while I'm looking at him play, I can stitch. And he doesn't play continuously, so even when he has his breaks, I could get a lot more done because I'm not looking at him the whole time. But that is Baked Goods by Little House Needleworks on a 28 count Lugana. And I'm enjoying it very much so far. Okay. The next one you have seen before. I think I'm about finished with this one for now. This is the Tea Party sampler, I believe it was. It is Lakeside Needlecrafts. If I got that wrong, I'm going to put it down here on the screen, but I'm going to insert here where I was. This is being done on a 28 count Mystery even weave. I'm not sure what it is. I think it was just a piece I picked up at the local needlework shop I used to work at. But here is where I am now. I've gotten quite a bit of progress. Oops, should have got another clip. So quite a bit of progress, mostly on the bottom row. Okay, the bottom row is almost complete. I just need to do the back stitching. Okay, I just kind of jump around. This one was my travel piece over the summer. I did work on it a little bit when we went out of town to Jamaica. I've been working on it the first couple 2 or 3 weeks of school during lunch when I'm sitting in the car waiting for Layla to come out from practice. I've been trying to work on it, but for it to be such a small piece, you all, it has a lot of color changes. And I'm kind of over it right now. I'm ready to do something else. So I'm going to put this away for a little while. And then maybe in the new year, 2023, I'll come back to it. Or maybe even on Christmas break when I have a little more time, I might be a little bored, I might come back to it. But for right now, I'm going to put this one to the side. Last but not least, and let me make sure I have my pattern. My last one is, here it is. It is, of course, my Heaven and Earth design. And no, I have not forgotten about my How to Tackle a Heaven and Earth Design video. I think I'm ready to start on that. So hopefully I will have something together for you soon. But this is Vintage Baker. Let me just give you a preview again. You've seen it before. I started this Mother's Day weekend, 2022. And here is where I am now. I had set a goal of 5,000 stitches a month. Needless to say, with everything going on with the move and all of that, I didn't make 5,000 in August. I did in May and June. I think I did in July. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what I did in July. I did 6,042 stitches in July. August, I only did 1,493 stitches. So here's where I am now. I love it. The pie, at least for this row, is complete. I got those 2 little renegade cherries at the top. Those are complete. And now I'm working on this vintage kitchen timer. I just started him a couple of days ago. I love it so much, you all. It's really coming together. It's very clear because I did not get a max color. This is just a regular Heaven and Earth design chart. And I'll explain what those mean. But max color, or MC, means it's using even more colors than the 90 that are usually in a regular chart. It's probably more defined, but that also translates to more confetti. So considering I did not do max color, matter of fact, I don't even know if this was available in max color yet, but I just went with a regular chart and I'm very pleased with it. Okay. My first Heaven and Earth design was a mini. And with a mini, you tend to lose some of your definition. So that's why I said moving forward, I will probably do mostly regular or max colored charts. But this is coming along nicely. I love it. I don't know how many, I'll put on the screen how many stitches I've done so far this month. But I'm up to now, my total stitches since July is 11,263 since the last time you saw it. And now my total stitches is 20,240. I will put on the screen what percent that is because I forgot to write it down. but I think it's like 6.7%. It's like crazy. I think last time I did a video I was at 3 point something percent. But this thing is huge. But I'm still very pleased with it. I worked on this probably consistently up until maybe 2 weeks before we moved. I did not stop stitching because I love it. I have had another page finish. I think I'm coming up on another one. So it's moving. I'm going to try to get back to my 5,000 stitches a month, no matter what, next month. Eventually I would like to start another one, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I had planned to start a new chart for my birthday start in November. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to tear myself away. So that's one thing. I told you guys I'm a monogamous stitcher, and I'm trying to not get out of that because I think that enables me to get big projects done. But I do want to do some other things. So you see I had a couple of smalls going. I've got a few things I would like to start before the end of the year with Christmas and fall. So, but this is my focus. This is my baby. So I'm going to keep going on this one. And like I said, just try to get back to my 5,000 stitches a month. Okay. I think that's it for my whips. Let me gather myself and I'll talk a little bit about purchases that I've made. And then I will jump into kind of like my parade of heaven and earth design charts that I own. I just thought I'd show you my project bag that I'm keeping baked goods in for right now. I need to make some more Christmas bags, but I just haven't had the time. So this is one I just pulled out that I had previously made. This is a Looney Tunes bag. If I recall, I got the fabric from Joann's, but vinyl front, super cute. But yeah, this is my Looney Tunes bag. So that's what baked goods is in for now. So what have I bought? Not a lot. I told you guys, that's one of the things I try to work mostly on what I already have, but I have bought a few things. I have a couple of charts that I've purchased. The first one, actually they're both, these two are PDFs that I got on Etsy from Stitching with the Housewives. This is gingerbread cookies. This has been on my list for about a year. So I finally got that one. It's a little bigger. I wouldn't call it an ornament. I'm probably going to do it as a flat fold. Decorate it some kind of way. So gingerbread cookies. The next one I got was Sugar and Spice Company. This one's a little bit smaller. Came out earlier this year, I think. The other one I think came out last year. And I have one other one, but it's gingerbread themed also. So one of the things I'm going to be looking for at Needlework Galleria is any hand-dyed threads that I want to get and black fabric for these. I think I'm going to go with black, maybe chalkboard. I don't know. I need to see it to decide, but those are my two Stitching with the Housewives that I got. And then, although I have not had a chance to try it yet, I got a Nurge hoop. This one came from Amazon. This is the medium. So I'm looking forward to giving this a try, and I was thrilled they had a pink one. So this is the Nurge. I've heard great things about it, that it really holds your fabric in tight. So I'm looking forward to giving this one a try. Okay. All right. So next up, I want to talk about my heaven and earth designs that I already have in my possession. I believe I have, let's see. I have 17. I don't know how many more I can purchase and still finish them in this lifetime that the Lord has blessed me with. So I already know there's a couple of these, even though I purchased them, I'm probably not going to do them. one thing about a heaven and earth design, to me, you have to love it to complete it, because they are so big and they can be confetti heavy, and just the sheer size of them. I know many of you even mentioned it in the comments on my last video, how daunting they seem. So I don't want to keep buying them if I know for sure I'm not going to get to them. But the ones that I have bought, the majority of them, I love them. So I really want to do them. Okay. So let me just go through them. I'm going to go through them in the order that I purchased them. That's one great thing. You can always, once you make purchases through the Heaven and Earth Designs website, you can always go back and look at what you've purchased to kind of keep from duplicating in the future. My taste, I wouldn't say it's changed, but what I'm enthusiastic about, because I know these are going to take years to complete, I'm starting to be a little bit more choosy about what I purchase moving forward. You'll see at the beginning, I purchased quite a few. And then as the years have gone on, I've purchased a little less, because I want to make sure I purchase things that I'm actually going to have time to stitch. So let's start. I made my first purchase in February of 2018. And this first one is by Dominic Davison. And this is Windows with a View. This one is max color, but I don't think I initially purchased it as a max color. But for some reason I have a max color. But it's very pretty. I love scenery and I love buildings. And that house back there, I love it. But just the whole scene, it's very idyllic. So that's why I chose this one. I don't have a plan for when I want to start this one, but it's in there. And as you can see, I originally did not have Pattern Keeper. So my plan was to do these on paper. Not anymore. Okay. First of all, the patterns are in black and white. Pattern Keeper, it's in, once you've highlighted, it's in color. You can see it. It's so much easier to do. But like I said, in 2018, I didn't have Pattern Keeper. I don't think I got Pattern Keeper until 2020, I think. So one of more than one that I have of Dominic Davison. The second one, I can't remember if I showed this in a previous video, but it is Mediterranean Evening. I don't have my paper copy of it with me. I think I have it over in storage, so I'll insert a picture of it here. But this one is the one I initially started. And I will talk about why I changed how I did it when I do my Tackling a Heaven and Earth Design video. But I started it and then I stopped. But I still love the scene. This was also one of my 2018 February purchases. So like I said, just take a look at it, but it's a great scene. I've seen other people working on it on the Heaven and Earth Design Facebook page. And theirs are gorgeous. So it's a little darker than I thought when I first bought it, but I still like it a lot. And I do plan to do it and restart it and do it again. The next one, still same time. These next two are minis. And I think I'm still going to do them, even though they're minis, but I will not be purchasing any other minis moving forward. And like I said earlier, it's just that I think you lose some of the design definition. And from what I understand, it's like 30% that you lose when you have a mini on some patterns. And I think I'll be okay on both of these, but moving forward, I want the full effect. So that's why I'm not going to purchase any more minis. But this one is Mini, the Four Horsemen. And you can see the designer there. And Michelle Sayeda, I believe that's how she says her name, is the person that charts all of these. But this is the Mini, the Four Horsemen, and referencing the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. I've always been very interested in that. I wouldn't call it a story, but that reference in Revelations in the Bible. So it's one of the things I want to research one day. But these are the Four Horsemen. I'm looking for other depictions of that I might like to do, that I might like to stitch. I just think it's a very interesting concept in relation to Christ's return. This next one is Mini Same Day Blooms, Hibiscus, one of my favorite flowers. This is by Marianne Broom. She has quite a few florals on Heaven and Earth Design webpage, but this one stuck out to me, so this is why I got this one. But it's Mini Same Day Blooms. And if you have a hibiscus plant, you know that they only last for one day. So that's why I like that one. All right, moving on to March. So the next month in 2018, you've already seen this one. This is the one I completed. This is Minnie, the Little Cake Shop. Okay, and you can go back to my very first video and see that one completed. But that one was a fun stitch. Again, it was a mini. I wish it weren't, but I'm very pleased with how it turned out anyway. The next one, I did not buy another pattern until December of 2019. So I went from March 2018 and then I didn't buy anything else till December 2019. And the one I purchased in December 2019 was Jungle Montage. This is Cyril Marchetti, I think. Please, Mr. Marchetti, don't be mad if I jacked it up. But this is Jungle Montage. That jaguar, those birds, the background color, what's not to love? But this one is pretty big. It is a max color. According to this, it has 238 colors. And my vintage baker only has 90. So that's a lot of colors. And this one is pretty big. It's going to measure 21 by 29 when it's complete. So Jungle Montage by Heaven and Earth Designs. But yeah, I love that one. Just the face in the middle, and then the teal color in the background really sets it off for me. All right, moving into 2020, I bought 3 in May of 2020. This first one is Gardener's Paradise Max Colors by Donna Gelsinger. This one measures 27 by 20 when it's finished, and it has 240 colors, and it is a max color. And as a gardener, I knew I had to have this one. I love it. It's at the top of my list, top of my future start list. I like it a lot. Just the details, the little vignettes within it, very beautiful. And it has flowers. I'm a big sucker for flowers. Now this next one, I had originally purchased it to do it for my daughter. She loves Paris. She wants to go to Paris one day, all these things. But once I bought this, I realized, this is going to take me a really long time to do for her. And it will not get completed by the time she graduates from high school, which was why I bought it. So I'm going to be honest and say, I don't know if I'm going to finish this one. I like it, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. This is Paris Romance by Ruane Manning, who I do like his charts very much. I have another one coming up in a minute. But I love the scene. But y'all, let's be for real. This guy is going to take me out. Look at all that. Very monochromatic. And it's just not very vibrant. I know that's the purpose. You know, you want the couple to stick out, but I need more color than this. So I think this one, I don't know when I'm going to get to this one, if ever. Okay. But I like it. I just don't love it enough to stitch it. So I'm going to find something else for her. I've already got a couple other patterns set aside that I want to do for her. Now this next one is the exact opposite. It's all color. This is, I know you probably all have probably seen this one before. It's Farewell to Anger by Leonid Afremov. Hopefully I said that correctly. But this one is a regular size chart. It has 89 colors in it. Farewell to Anger. Very popular artwork. And I told you guys, I don't like a lot of people, but you see these last two have people in them, but they're tiny people. And you don't see any faces. But that is Farewell to Anger. And that was the last one I bought at that time. I bought two more in July of 2020. Needless to say, I'm sure because I was homebound with the pandemic, I made lots of purchases. This is African Royalty by Carol Cavaleris. This is a regular chart. I love it. It's high on the list to do. I am a little apprehensive about all that beige, but I'm gonna make it work. I'm looking forward to doing this one as well. But very fierce. Lady in the front, backed up by her man in the back. Very fierce couple. So I like that a lot. So that's African Royalty. This one has 87 colors in it. Now this next one, I'm gonna insert a picture of it. I have a picture, but it's black and white, and you cannot get the full effect. So this is Still Life by Tatiana Hustova. It is 89 colors, and it is a still life. I love flowers. This one has fruit in the basket. It's just a still life, you know, a classic still life. But this one is just, I love it. It's beautiful. The background is very dark. That's going to take some time to get through, but I think it'll be worth it to encounter and finally get to those beautiful dahlias. Lots of dahlias in this one. The grapes, just everything about it. I love it. So I am looking forward to that one. Moving on to December of 2020, Vintage Baker is when I purchased that one. And then I also purchased Riverwalk Cafe. Oh no, sorry. Riverwalk Charm Max Color. This is by Ruane Manning again. And this one, because it's a max color, it is 238 colors. This is the largest pattern I own. It is 700 stitches by 544, I believe. 28 inches by 21 inches when it's complete. This is next on my list. I just, that whole scene, it's a cafe, love it. The river, the trees, just the vibrancy of the trees and that sky. It's just very serene. You can almost hear the leaves ready to fall. It's crazy. It's very fall to me, but I just love the colors. So this one is like next on the list for a start. It is a max color, so I feel like I got to get myself ready for that. But this is when I saw this one, I believe it was the cover page for his part of the website. And I believe it was discontinued for a little while. And then somebody told me they were bringing it back. So I don't know how the licensing works for the artists that she works with, but I was very glad this one came back. He only has a few on her site, but this one was a favorite and I was so glad. And as soon as I saw that it was available, I snatched it up. So that is Riverwalk Charm by Ruane Manning. And moving on, I think I made my next purchase in October 2021. So this one is Birds, Butterflies, and Blooms by, Birds, Butterflies, and Blooms World Map by Amy Stewart. All of the cake shops were Amy Stewart's. Vintage Baker is Amy Stewart's. And here is another Amy Stewart. I think I have more of hers than any of them. But I just love maps. My son and I do puzzles a lot together. And we always gravitate toward map type puzzles. But this one has the flowers and the butterflies. And really all of the map itself gets kind of lost. in all of the other splendor around it, but I still love it. I still like to do it. I mean, it has at the top, you know, how they have the two small globes on the vintage maps. So it's kind of reminiscent of a vintage map, but it's got the birds and the butterflies added to it. Very vibrant, beautiful. Love those pinks and those bright blues. So I'm looking forward to doing this one as well. I don't have a timeline of what order, but it's near the top. This next one was also October 2021, and this is Little Cake Shop again by Amy Stewart, but this is the quick stitch. This, I wish I'd have seen this one first. This one came out like a year or two after the other one. And what they do on the Heaven and Earth Design website, they will modify a chart for you. And basically you can just request a portion of a chart be charted, and then you can stitch just that part. So that's what this is. This is like the very center of the cake shop, where the little table and chairs was, and then the baker's racks and the dresser behind them. That's just this part. The window is behind that, but the edge parts are missing. It is a quick stitch, that's what that means, just a small area. And then it's max color as well. So this one is only maybe half the size of the other ones I've been showing you, and twice the size of the mini that I already did. The mini I did had 79,000 stitches, and I believe this one has 159, or actually it's right here by my finger, 154. I always write how many stitches it is on my patterns. And you'll notice I always also put what size Lugana I'm going to cut it also on here. But yes, this, I wish I'd have done this one first. I really do. But they can be companion pieces on the wall. So that's what I'm planning to do. This one is very high up on the list as well. This one may move to my birthday start. I haven't decided, but it's very, very high on the list. Okay. Now, let's move on to 2022. I've only made 2 purchases this year, and they were both this past summer since my last video. So the first one was a freebie. So actually I didn't purchase this one. This was a freebie, and I don't remember the occasion. Sometimes Michelle just puts stuff up on the side, hey, free chart. And this one intrigued me because it was very detailed to be a free chart. But this one is Deep Blue Sea. And John Enright is the artist. And I believe he also did the Prince picture. I'm not positive on that, but I know I've heard his name before. But this is John Enright, Deep Blue Sea. This is a free chart. I don't know if it's still available. I'm learning, even if it's not something I'm positive I'm going to stitch, if it's free, I need to snatch it up, because most of the time that's only for a limited time. My feelings are still hurt that I missed pandemic when Long Dog Sampler offered that for free. I don't know why I didn't get it, but I didn't. And I kind of wish I had, because I probably would be willing to do that one. This one has 90 colors. And it is, actually this is pretty big. It's 700 by 889 stitches. So that's 28 by 35 inches when it's finished. 700 by 889 stitches. That's crazy. That's huge. Okay. But that was the freebie I picked up this summer. And then the last one, this was my last purchase, another Amy Stewart. This one is 725 by 518. And it has 90 colors. It's a regular size chart, but this is Love Letters Chocolate Shop. It's a little darker than some of the other ones that I have, but that pink is just crazy vibrant to me. And it's everywhere. And I was like, I'm doing this one. This one's been out a little while, but I decided, I need to have it. Don't know where in the queue this one will fall, but I like it a lot. So that, again, that is Love Letter Chocolate Shop. Love letters. But very cute. Amy Stewart is just the queen of keeping your eye moving across the picture. And that's what makes it so exciting to stitch it, because you can see it kind of bleed into place. You see the evolution of it as you're stitching. And there's always something to look at as you're stitching. Even her background is interesting. So that is my last Heaven and Earth design. Like I said, I'm definitely Riverwalk Charm, Little Cake Shop Quick Stitch, Gardener's Paradise, African Royalty, all of those, Jungle Montage, all of those very high on the list. I want to start something, either birthday start or New Year start. It will not be a focus piece because I'm going to stick with Vintage Baker as a focus piece until it's done. So that is my little parade of Heaven and Earth designs. All right, I have one other potential new start that I wanted to mention. I'm keeping him in this little vintage sewing project bag, and I'm looking for fabric for it. That is the main reason I haven't started it. This is coming from the Just Cross Stitch magazine from October 2004. Okay. This is a definite fall scene. It is called Annie's Market. But I am looking for, and I think Babbling Brook is a fabric that I know is along the lines of this one. This one might be Babbling Brook, might be the called for, but I'm going to look for something close to that because I want that effect of the sky on this one. So I just wanted to show you just what I'm thinking about working on for this fall. When you do full coverage like I do, these are not, what's the word I'm trying to think of? They're not intimidating. This is going to be a piece of cake compared to some of those full coverages or larger projects that I do. But I just wanted something, you know, I like markets and I love buildings. So this is one that's been in my stash for a very long time. And I've been wanting to do it, and I've already got my working copy ready to go. But now I just need the fabric. So that is one of the things I'm so looking forward to with Needlework Galleria, is getting some of these projects kitted up. Some of the other things I want to work on are sweater weather, which I've shown in a previous video. I just need the threads for that. I think I'm going to use that mushroom Lagana for it. I want to do those Christmas ornaments from Stitching with the Housewives and my Prairie Schooler that I want to get started on. I still haven't started it. And then Rosina Dissery. I know I've shown that before, and I know you've heard people mention it before, but that is one of the things I want to get started before the end of the year. That may be my New Year's start. I don't know, but I definitely want to find a hand-dyed fabric or just something that I really think I will enjoy for Rosina Dissery. So I'm going to show you a few quilt whips, and then I will wrap it up with our giveaway winners and just a real quick update on what we've been doing here. Trenton's going to help me today with some quilt whips. Now these have all been pieced, they have all been quilted, I just don't have the binding on them. So there's something easy I can do when I'm just sitting watching TV, maybe even in the car, because they're all small throws or baby size quilts. So let's get started. This first one, and that's the other thing, 3 out of these 4 are from leftover fabrics from another project, probably a gift. Okay, so this first one, this is just a very small strip piece quilt. Hold your side up higher. Okay, see how long it is? Not very long at all. But these are from the Cherry Baby line. I'll try and hold it a little closer. But I did a quilt for my daughter out of these years ago. And I don't know if you can see it. I'm gonna try to flip it over in the back and scoot closer. My mom quilted teddy bears into it. I don't know if you can see that one right there in the middle, but those are teddy bears. So I just thought that was really cute. One thing about my mom, she has a long arm. She's a very prolific quilter. Speaking of prolific, I want you all to encourage her to let me do a trunk show with her. She says she don't want to be on camera. That's fine. I can work it out without her being on camera. But you all, she has so many quilts. I mean, she just has a whole row of them on hangers in her basement where her long arm is. And it's just amazing what she is able to produce. So I'm trying to convince her to let me do that. This next one, and let me look at my notes on this one. I have my binding. I usually attach it. I make it ahead of time, attach it in a baggie, just a old-fashioned paper clip. But this particular one is the Lattice Baby Quilt by Diary of a Quilter, her blog, okay? But this one is done. I don't remember the exact line, but obviously this is a Bonnie and Camille, okay? But this is sashed in just a gray Kona, okay? I'm not sure what shade, but it is a gray Kona. I think I got it at Joann's. Hold it, pull it. Yep, there you go. But I love it. It's set on point and then sashed. I know these sashing lines were only 1.5 inches, I believe. And if this is a charm pack, so 5-inch squares that I used on this, okay? I just had the charm squares and I was like, you know, I'm just gonna put something simple together. This is a free tutorial on the Diary of a Quilter website. And then this is the back, just a gray print, small gray print. And my mom on this one for the quilting, she kind of went inside the squares with a design, and she in the ditch around the squares in the sashing. So I thought that was pretty effective. So that's Diary of a Quilter. This next one is, I've done this one before. This one is a duplicate of the one I did for my godson, Theo. This was from, he's getting ready to be, how old is Theo getting ready to be?
Like
4. Okay, so Theo's almost 4 now. Hold it up, baby. Pull it tight. There you go. But this is just yellow and gray, neutral colors, some polka dots. But the thing, yep, and then what sets it off here are the prairie points all around the edge. I love making prairie points. I don't use them very often, but I really like them on this one. And the back is just a white polka dot. Okay, very simple. I'll get closer so you can see the quilting on it. But she just did a little design in the open squares and then went around the triangles on the pinwheels. And this one was self-drafted. I did not use a pattern. I just kind of made it up and then drafted it out and did it that way. And that first one was also self-drafted. That was just strips of that line of fabrics that I had left over from my daughter's quilt. And this is the last one. This one also, this one isn't self-drafted, but this is leftover squares that I had from my daughter's quilt. This is the quilt currently on her bed, but obviously she has a twin size. This is just a little mini. And this one I used the Simple Simon framed squares tutorial, okay, on, I think I found it on Pinterest, but you know, just go to the Simple Simon website. But it was Paris themed. I told you guys she loves Paris. So I had all kind of Paris fabrics that I found and then just dispersed among it some different black and whites. So, and the binding is already done for this one. It matches the backing, black and polka dots. And if I recall, I remember this polka dot fabric came from Hobby Lobby. But I really like this one. I keep the black and whites and the pinks, pull it. Oh. The black and whites and the pinks together, okay? I just keep them in a basket together because I like to make different projects out of black, white, and pink. My sewing room was black, white, and pink. So I enjoy that fabric combo. So I make it in a lot of different things. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Just wait. He's so eager to get back to his Legos, y'all. So coming back and we'll finish up our video. We're gonna wrap up with a short update, plans, and our giveaway winners. So let me just go on and tell y'all this quick update. Lord have mercy. I'm still in my feelings about some of this, but let me preface this by saying, packing up your home and moving from a house to an apartment after living in that house for 17 years is not for the weak. I have purged, given away, sold, you name it, I have done it to try and downsize. Let me also say, I'm the type of person that doesn't like drama. I feel like my life the last 2 months has been full of drama. So I'm just going to give you all a quick rundown of how things have gone, where we are, what we're doing, and how we're moving forward. We put the house on the market early August. It sold. Basically, we had offers before the open house was over, and we decided we weren't going to make a decision until after the open house. We took an offer, cash offer, which is always great, as is the whole nine. So the sale itself went fine. You know, of course, you got some back and forth on a few things. All that was fine. Our realtor, she was okay. Overall, the purchasing part wasn't bad. It was everything else. Part of the closing deal for the cash offer, etc., was that we be out, or the closing for the house was the 24th. That was the first day of school, or the 23rd, first day of school. I was thinking we were going to have at least till the end of the month. We had 2 weeks. So yes, I had done all the purging and the giving away. Our storage unit, it's very close to our apartment, like maybe half a mile. It's not far at all. And it's a great facility, easy to get in and out of. But the unit we got, I just feel like it's not big enough. I'm a crafter, y'all. Some of y'all already know. I have stuff. Apartment has no storage. It has just been, as far as getting things situated, I can't call them but what it is. It has been a nightmare. I'm kind of see the end of the tunnel. I still have some stuff over here y'all can't see that I've got to figure out how to get it in storage. And most of it is my stuff. It's sewing stuff, Cricut stuff, recipe stuff. I got stuff, y'all. There's just no way to get around it. I got stuff. So I'm still working on that. We had some mishaps. Just doing this before school started was in and of itself daunting. But we got it done. My mom helped let us keep some stuff at her house. So we're thinking, okay, we got it sold, we're good. We're still trying to figure out situating things, but we'll figure it out. Second week of school, you all. School started on a Tuesday, like the 23rd or 22nd, whatever that Tuesday was. Got through the first week of school, it was rough. Second week of school, I'm like, okay, second week, we're good, ready to go. Train got COVID. None of us, the rest of us got it, and we haven't had it up until this point. He's the only one. And he was out for the whole week. Sunday, before the new week started, he got a fever, super high. And he went and lay down in the bed. And he never does that. And I was like, why are you in the bed? He was like, I don't feel good. He said he had a headache. And I was like, uh-oh. We had some tests here. All of us took it. His immediately negative. I mean, positive. He was such a trooper about it. He stayed home. I asked his teacher for work. And mind you, he's in a new school this year because now he comes to school with me in the morning and he just sits back in our department. We have like a little office. He sits in our little office until it's time for him to go to school. And then he walks the 10-minute walk to school. His school is right by the high school where me and Layla are. Poor thing. His fever probably lingered till about Wednesday. And then he was back to his old self after that. But we still just kept him out that whole week because Labor Day weekend was that coming up weekend. So we thought, okay, just let him make sure it's gone. He still got to wear a mask for, I think, the rest of the next week. Once he goes back, we're required to wear a mask if you've had COVID. You know, I still wore one while I was still going to work because I didn't know, just trying to make sure. But it worked out. None of the rest of us got it, and he was completely a trooper about it. So he got through that. Then Labor Day weekend, we have a car accident. We were in my husband's car going to pick up Layla, and she was getting her hair done or something, and we were going to go pick her up. And we're driving down Highway 270, for those of you all that live here, and a car, my husband sees in the rearview mirror 2 cars racing. This is like 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. He sees them coming up behind him. They're racing. So they're weaving in and out. Well, a red Tesla overcompensated and he sideswiped us as he goes by. And we're like, and then the dude took off. He didn't stop. So we tried to follow him, but the rim of my husband's car got bent. So we turned around, called one of his friends, had him go pick Layla up from where she was. She wasn't too far from his house. So he went and picked her up. We went to the police station, filed a police report, and the friend brought Layla to us. And then the friend took me and the kids to the apartment, and he came back and stayed with my husband until they figured out what they were going to do. So my husband's car has been in the shop since Labor Day weekend. And I mean, luckily he just scraped us up the side, but it was bad enough to where it really wasn't drivable for long distances. So that's still going on. What else? Oh, the last straw, the last thing. It turns out we could not keep Maximus. The apartment complex, when we rented the apartment back in July, the girl who rented it to us basically never told us that there was a list of restricted dogs. We didn't know that. And she knew we had a Doberman. Well, come to find out, Doberman's on the restricted list. And they told us we could not keep him. And we had 30 days. That was it, y'all. I was done after that. My husband, not happy either. He got on it. He found a lady who runs a Doberman rescue out here in the St. Charles area. She got on it. I sent her pictures. I sent her a video of my dog saying grace before he ate, and that was pretty much it. We found him a new home. He is living in Illinois now, about an hour away from here, with a lady who is retired. I think she's a retired military and she's a retired EMT. I think that's what my husband told me. Last Sunday, we went to meet her and she said, I want him. And we were just, the Lord worked that out because I was miserable. I was like, I do not want him to go to a shelter. And he didn't. The kids were upset. I think me and the kids, we all boo-hooed. Layla did the ugly cry because that was her dog, you all. He slept in her room every night. Even my husband said, you need to take your dog out. I mean, he was like her dog. I know I boo-hooed. I'm not a dog person, y'all. This is only the second dog I've ever owned. We had a Great Dane a few years ago that we had to put down because she got sick. And I don't know if I want another dog. My husband's like, you can get the kind of dog you want. I want one of them little Dachshunds. I don't know, y'all. That dog thing, that shit may have sailed. Maybe I'll feel different about it later, but it hurt my feelings that I had to give up my dog. So that was about a week ago. He's doing great. The lady has contacted us and said he's getting along with her cats. I already know what happened with that. The cat said, look, I was here first. And Maximus said, yes, ma'am. And he went about his business. But we still miss him. We talk about him every day. Trent started playing the trumpet. And we said, oh, Maximus would be looking at his room like, what are you doing? I mean, we talk about him, think about him all the time. So I know we'll get through it. But that was it. That was the last straw, y'all. So I feel like I'm getting back into it now. I got my fabric out last night to work on these project bags that I want to make for the giveaway on Friday. I think I'll be okay. We're gonna be fine. There's a method to the madness. There's a purpose in what we're doing, and we just have to lean on what we know the Lord told us. So I want land. I want a different house. I want some chickens, and this is just a means to an end. Like I said, we made good money off the house, so I just have to keep that in mind and move forward. So let's get to these giveaways. Hopefully that gave you enough info, but still pray for us that we don't. I mean, y'all, we was so everybody was at everybody's throat for a little while. I think we're through that part. We're not, I won't say we're settling in here because I still don't want to be here. But again, there's a purpose behind it. And when we find where we're supposed to be, we can just up and go. So I'm just trying to keep reminding myself of that. Okay. Winners giveaway. We had 4 items. Let's start with the first one. The first one was Friendship by Lizzie Kate, which I already did. So I wanted to offer my pattern to somebody. And the winner of this one is Kathy with a K, B, Kathy B. So what I want you all to do, if you're a winner, I'm going to comment on your comment just to make sure that you've seen this, and then email me. My email address is in the notes, CoryCreates 0808 @gmail.com. So email me with your address and remind me what you want, and then I will get that out into the mail ASAP. So Kathy B is the winner of the Lizzie Kate Friendship Begins. The next giveaway was the Fiskars Compact Folding Design Scissors. Great for travel. Okay. These belong to Rosalind N. Rosalind N. So Rosalind, congrats. Again, email me with your address and what you want, and of course your full name. The next item was this sewing bag. This sewing project bag. And the winner of this is Ms. Teacher Terry, capital M-S, capital T for teacher, and then all one word, add Terry on the end of that. So Terry, email me, let me know that you're a winner, and I will get this in the mail to you. And then finally, oh, I had more than one, sorry. I almost forgot, I had 5 things, not 4. This cute little strawberry bag, similar to the one that I have. Ooh, green zipper. This strawberry bag goes to Chris with a C, Chris B. Chris, congrats. And then finally, this last project bag. This was the one with the lipstick and the ladies on it. This one goes to Black Ribbon Stitch Studio. So my sister Denise, congratulations. I will get these out ASAP, hopefully sometime this week. If not, definitely early next week, because I'm kind of in the middle of stuff for Galleria. So only plans I got right now, y'all, is to get my life together. That's it. I'm gonna work on my Christmas stuff that I've started, the baked goods, and then of course keep going on Vintage Baker, possibly start on that Prairie Schooler sweater weather, and then just have a list together this week of what I want to get at Galleria. And then that way I'll know moving forward what I need to fill in the holes. But I'm looking for fabric, and I'm trying to get floss, and I do have some patterns that I want to get. I had a whole list. I don't know what I did with it, but I had a whole list of stuff that I've highlighted that those are the ones I really want to focus on. So after that, just keep moving on what I've got going. Hopefully my next video won't be this far off in the future as this one was. I appreciate you all sticking with me. Please subscribe, like, hit that notification bell, because the way my life is set up, that's the only way you're gonna know I'm back. So I appreciate you all. Thank you to those of you that reached out to me to see how I was doing. I appreciate that. We as you can see, it was touch and go for a minute, but we made it through. And I kind of glad I waited, because I'm not sure I would have had the demeanor I wanted to have in my video if it had been like at the beginning of September like I planned. So we're coming out on the other side, still looking for a house, still looking for maybe land. We don't know, but I'll know it when we see it. We'll know it when we see it. So thank you for hanging in there with me. For those of you coming to Galleria, it's supposed to be in the 70s, so dress accordingly. And I really, really hope I see you this Friday night at the Buzzbull Creamery. Let me know if you have any questions. And thank you for visiting with me today. Stay safe out there and be blessed.